Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Chelsea, and welcome to
Nick and Chelsea's Gen Excellent Adventure,
where we chronicle 50-something parents of a 5-year-old as we move from the USA to the UAE.
You can also follow our journey on our Instagram page, Nick Chelsea Gen Excellent Adventure, or you can type in the name of this podcast. If you have any questions or subjects you'd like us to address, go ahead and send them to us through our Instagram page.
Yes. In this episode, our main topic is our school's International Food Festival, which turned out to be great fun. We also search for a spring break destination and do a Dubai Hills Mall update, including a review of a movie we saw there last week. Some of this you might have gotten a sneak preview of if you listen to or if you follow our Instagram page.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, our first subject this week is the International Food Festival.
Yeah, so we heard about this through our parent organization, and then also just I've heard about it at school. I kept hearing people say, it's the best event of the year, and I was like, okay. And what did you hear?
Well, I mean, I saw the flyer that comes across the I don't know if it was through the school or through the parent WhatsApp group. But, you know, you see the flyer, and I found it a little underwhelming.
Flyer?
I wasn't finding myself, like, jazzed to go to this particular event, and especially when you saw that the tickets were 75 dirhams a piece.
Right, and then I'd been told that you pay for things once you're in there, too. Like, a couple people told me that. So we were like, 75. Well, I was free as staff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's like, I mean, 75 dirhams is $20 just to get in the door for a school event.
Right.
Thinking that we also were going to be paying for food and games.
Right.
Which,
right.
You know, that becomes a pretty spendy, evening.
Right. And back at school.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, is this something you want to put that kind of money down on? But, we ended up going. I mean, we were even thinking about whether that weekend was one that we could go ahead and take a weekend away in Oman.
Right.
And we decided that wasn't going to be a weekend because of the fact that the food festival was happening.
Yeah, and because even though we were dubious about it, people were saying, no, you really have to go. So we went, and honestly, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the best 4-hour stints that we've had here since we've been to Dubai in some ways.
Yeah,
because
definitely the best thing at school.
It was a great event. When you think about international festivals, I mean, we have those type of things back in the U.S.
Yeah,
and I've been to some of these, and they're good, they're nice.
Yeah.
This is a little different though, in the sense that when you're doing something like this in the United States, it's usually people of different heritages kind of celebrating their heritage. But most of these people are Americans.
Right.
The difference is here, everyone who's doing these booths and these performances and everything pretty much are from those actual countries.
Right. You're thinking of like Folk Life in Seattle, which is really quite incredible and a beautiful festival in Seattle, Northwest Folk Life. But yeah, it is, of course, there's going to be some people who are originally are born in the country of their heritage, but they live in the U.S. now. So these are people who are, yes, living in Dubai, and Dubai is an international city, an international emirate. So it's just fascinating. It was amazing. So there was food from all over the world, and it was a combination of homemade and professional restaurants. Like it was really a big mix. It depended on the country and probably whoever was sponsoring that country. Yeah. I think most of the countries do represent people at school.
Yeah. Well, let's set the scene.
Okay.
So this was taking place out basically at the stadium there at the school. So this is an outdoor event.
Yeah.
And so it was where the track is, although the track is currently under construction. And then the artificial turf field, basically a soccer pitch.
Yeah.
That's on the inside of the track. And what they did is they kind of lined the outside of the track, at least, I would say halfway around.
2/3 maybe. No, you're right. About halfway. Yeah.
And there were food booths representing all kinds of different countries all along that area along the side of the track.
Yeah.
And then basically in one of the end zones or goals, they had set up a stage where they had people from all these different countries kind of taking their turn to do some sort of performance that they felt represented their their country.
Yeah, and that to me, that was very loud but beautiful. Like the music was loud. It was basically all dances for the most part. And I came in later. Nick and T came earlier, and I had an appointment, so I got there later. But I walked in during or near the beginning of the Syria dance, and it was amazing. It was so cool. It was beautiful. They had a female student up there waving the flag in the middle, and then all these professional dancers dancing around her. It was so cool. And I was like, I am inspired. What is this country? Because I don't know all my flags, and they didn't say who the country was when I didn't hear that part of it. So I had to look it up later, but it was so inspiring. And then I saw Venezuela later, and that was also wonderful. Which ones did you catch?
Well, I mean, let's talk about the Venezuela performance. I mean, they had maybe a dozen women come up in these very colorful flowy dresses that when they did their spins, they got the full twirl effect going on.
It was so great.
And these were adults.
I think all the dancers were professional.
Very well coordinated. I mean, this was not a situation of just some people coming together to put something together in the last second. These people knew what they were doing. Yeah. At least for some of the countries.
I think almost all of them. There were only a couple, I think, that you said like the U.S.
Well, we'll get to the U.S.
Okay.
But like I walked into, and me and T walked into Palestine giving their performance.
So awesome.
I mean, there was a lot of emotion. I mean, there's a lot of support and emotion for them.
I wish I'd seen that.
And but they were very, very happy. They were doing their dances. It was all men, I think, for that one. And they were getting the crowd involved. They came down off the stage to do their clapping and stuff there.
So great.
Along with the people. And that was great. Another one that I really enjoyed, which was a little different, was the, I don't know if India had more than one, but the one that I saw was all high school students.
Oh.
It was all students from the school.
Really?
Yeah. And so it was
I saw none of that.
It was a co-ed dance. It was boys and girls.
That was the Indian one?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And it was really good. I mean, they obviously had practiced as well.
I mean, I haven't talked to my Indian students here about dance, but back in Bellevue, I had loads of students taking different versions of Indian dance. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's very common.
Well, I mean, I think you have something to at least ask some of your Indian students about now.
I will, yeah.
Because there was 20 students that were a part of that.
That's so cool.
So, and it was pretty much equally co-ed. So it was just as many boys up there as girls.
I love that.
And then they looked like they were having a great time.
That's awesome. And, that's interesting. I think that might have been the only country that was represented mostly by students, because other groups went up there and they might bring students up to join them, but they were pretty much professional dancers, like full adults. But it did make it really celebratory because people just wanted to watch. I think I saw some of Jordan's as well. Yeah, they're just awesome.
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't get to spend a ton of time at the stage because T spent a little time there watching Palestine and had one of his classmates come up and they watched for a while, but then it was off to the bouncy houses.
I mean, the young set is into the bouncy houses, and they had different bouncy house levels basically. So, he tried a couple, but then he settled on the ones he was most comfortable with.
So there was probably 5 or 6 bouncy house spots at various different spots around the field. And there was one that he was too young for. Yeah. That they needed to be a certain age or a certain height. I don't know which it was, but they wouldn't let him do the one. But the rest he was able to do, which is great because there were kids who were not being allowed into some of them because they were younger or smaller.
Right.
And he was, he's all about a bouncy house now. I mean, he's the kid that's in there. I remember the first time, or one of the first times we did it at a festival in West Seattle. Yeah. Where he got in, he was the little kid. Some bigger kids were jumping a lot, and he was like, "Nuh-uh, I'm out of here." Yeah.
Oh, he just started crying. Yeah. He got scared. Yeah. He thought it would be so fun, and then it really was he just wasn't ready for it. He didn't know how to keep his balance.
Now he's the kid who is like jumping from the very tip top of the slide, not even getting on the slide, like jumping over the slide just to bounce down. I mean, he's putting in a lot of the the motion on these bouncy
So
houses.
he
now.
earned his sleep that night. He wore himself out.
So you can't wear shoes in these things.
Yeah.
And so what he does is he comes out, grabs his shoes without putting them on, but grabs them and then runs to a different one in order to be able to do the next one.
Yeah.
And what was really fun to me about that was watching him enjoy that experience with a lot of different friends.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like he was just latched on to one or two friends or a group, and it wasn't like he spent the entire 4 hours with one friend or one group of friends.
Right.
He, spent some time with, these friends from school or from his class.
Yeah.
From this time with some of his friends from his aftercare.
Yeah.
Once here with, just a kid that he knows from
Recess. Yeah.
And so seeing him kind of like portion himself out.
Yeah.
Like that and just enjoy time with a lot of different people. I mean, that was really fun for me.
A little bit of a parent's dream. Like you're like, oh yeah, I don't want my kid to be, only with one person all the time. I want them to have lots of influence in their lives in different ways. And especially because he is, drawn to large personalities. When you see him also wanting to play with the maybe less large, but very sweet, very very cute kids, you're like, oh yay, he's kind of I like them all.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Well, and one of his friends was dressed up in a pretty elaborate, I believe, Egyptian outfit, and that was another one of the things that was cool about this event.
Yeah.
Is that you had people who just came, weren't performing or anything, who dressed up in their kind of traditional national garb.
Yes.
And so that gave it a little extra flavor.
Yeah.
When you would see people looking very much like their heritage.
Yeah, and the food, I talked about how it was, some homemade and some professional. It doesn't really matter. It was all really awesome. I think we tried things. We split up and went at different times, but I tried things from Ukraine, from Syria. I don't think I did Lebanese because we do that a fair amount,
right,
but
same.
did Jordan, Yemen. I mean, really, I had way more than that. I think you went to the Emirati booth and got me the date sauce stuff. So good. And then, and they had free soda. They had free Diet Coke. And I was like, what? You can't get soda on campus ever. So that was a shock. But anyway, the food was amazing. And people, I think many whom were parents, were there serving with delight and explaining their things.
Yeah.
And a lot of them had little goodies they were giving away, which I wouldn't have known to look for, but my boss I ran into, and she was like, go look for the goodies.
So what were some of the goodies that you were able to get?
I came home with something to put in your tea. I think that was from Jordan. It's a little jar filled with these types of leaves that go in your already brewed tea. I came home with a keychain from Yemen.
Which is now housing one of our apartment keys.
Yes, and also a cookie from Jordan, these little decorated cookies with the flag. And I don't think I brought much more than that because I didn't bring a bag. I only had my pockets and just like a very small bag. And I didn't know we were getting goodies. But anyway, lots and lots of things. And then I brought tea around later when he finally had dinner. And I think he got food from Russia mostly. Also there's Filipino food. There's people who don't know, there's a huge Filipino population in Dubai.
Well, and also, I mean, you brought back that Pakistani chicken.
Oh,
which
right,
was
Pakistan.
So good.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. Yes, I've never had that before. I was like, what is this? It was like little wings almost. And the flavor was just so yummy.
Yeah.
I think we ran into one of Titan's friends' parents, and they're Indian, and they said the flavors are very similar, not surprising, between Pakistan and India, but I just had not had them because they'd had the chicken as well. Yeah, that was really good. That was like maybe my favorite of the night. Although I also really liked these little Syrian. Okay, if I haven't said this before, in the Middle East, I've learned since living here that they love bread and cheese so much here, like Middle Easterners do, like all the countries. I did not know that coming in. And so, of course, every country has their bread, or some kind of bread, So like we went to the Russian booth and Titan got endless breads and like there's bread everywhere, but these are like flatbreads, of course. So you can get these little round flatbreads. They're kind of maybe Arabic breads or something. And then they fill them with different things, or in this case, the Syrian one had cheese and meat melted on between two pieces of this round flatbread. I really liked that. The flavor of it was really yummy. The cheese was yummy. I don't know if it was halloumi or something. No, halloumi doesn't melt. It was something, but it was really, really, really good. And T ate that too. That was my way of getting him more bread, but also protein.
Well, and then we were able to top it off with the Turkish ice cream booth.
Yes.
So, I don't know if people have ever seen this, but I think it's the Turkish ice cream vendors who are known for kind of doing tricks.
Yeah, I don't know.
While they're
handing
you your ice cream cone. And what they do is they do things where it looks like they're handing it to you, but then they move it out of the way.
Oh.
And so that you aren't able actually to grab it. And they do it a lot of different ways.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen on like YouTube or something or like on Twitter or something like that, a video of this.
That's
cool.
A
very extensive one. And this guy, I think, was doing it, but when we went, it was near closing time.
Okay.
And there's a pretty substantial line of people trying to get in under the, before it closed. And so I think we were just went and just give it a so
get
we
the
can
chocolate, and it tasted like semi-sweet chocolate. It was yummy.
And T got a combination of chocolate vanilla.
Yeah.
And of course he enjoyed it.
Of course. I mean, it was all super tasty.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also like Korea, Japan, China, all populations represented at school. I mean, really, there's so many populations at school.
Canada was there giving away Tim Hortons.
We thought and like a casserole. I didn't try it. We really thought that they would be giving away poutine. So I was like mildly disappointed. But
exactly. Where's the poutine? I would have been pretty excited to go get some Canadian poutine.
But then I might not have tried anything else. Like poutine. No, it was nice. Everybody was great. The U.S. booth was the funniest, though.
Well, and let's talk about the U.S. here. This is our culture. And let's first of all say, I guess would say we're actually dressed up as our culture. T was in a tank top and shorts. Yeah. And I was in probably a print T-shirt.
Yeah.
So I think that we kind of looked American.
You and T. Yeah.
Yeah. You looked a little bit more.
I was wearing a romper. I'm like more
local.
conscious. I'm going to see a bunch of people I work with. And we're not as casual here in Dubai as we are at home. But yeah.
But let's be completely honest. We were probably the lamest of all the countries in all regards.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I'm sorry if anybody who was a part of this is actually listening to this.
Feels unlikely.
And I'm not like criticizing. I wouldn't have been able to do any better myself. But the food booth was, you really saw what the food booth was for the U.S.
It was chicken nuggets. And what was the other thing?
And lemonade.
Lemonade was good. Chicken nuggets and lemonade. And I just got the feeling, maybe I'm just projecting, but I just got the feeling that the U.S. was like, yeah, we're not proud right now. We're not going to put on a big display. And again, maybe it's just me going, oh, what is happening? But that felt appropriate.
It is harder for the U.S. We don't have the same sort of national
barbecue
foods, but that's something that could have been done.
Yeah.
Get some burnt ends out there or something
barbecue
like that.
was the thing to do, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It did not need, it's an American school. It didn't need more attention. All the other countries need the attention. The Palestine area was, it was like you walked in through this thing and it was a souk.
They created a souk. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were some really neat things.
They created their whole
their own market.
Yeah. They had a front and a door. It's almost like something you would make as a part of a set for.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way to say it.
Like
that. It really, really felt the effort and the pride, and it felt important.
But going back to the U.S. for a second,
yeah.
I wasn't there at the stage for the U.S. performance, but I could hear it from where I was standing while T was in one of the bouncy houses, and it was just like a half dozen people getting up on stage, sort of dancing to "Life Is a Highway." And
that's funny.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite at the same level as I think
Yeah.
everyone else.
Well, it's fine. They don't need their moment right now. There's all these other moments focused on the U.S. that, focus on the other countries.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing good things there. Anyway, it was
and we appreciate. I mean, we loved going and sampling the foods from the different countries. We loved seeing the performances
dancing,
from the other countries.
And talking to other parents. And
you were like, they could have gotten some hip hop dancers or something.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Hip hop dancing would have been the thing for the U.S. to do.
You know what? You know what I'm hearing is that maybe we should be giving some ideas next year.
We should.
This.
We, or rather you, should join the parent organization.
I see what's happening here. Let's put it on my doorstep.
Okay, but I will say one last thing because I don't think we specified this yet. It did not cost. All those food booths didn't cost.
Yep.
The performances didn't cost. The bouncy houses didn't cost. So in the end, the 75 dirhams actually felt very, very, very worth it.
Well, and next year we will be going at the beginning and having late lunch, and then we will be having dinner.
Yeah, so we can get more countries in.
Exactly, because I did feel like I did not get to sample as many things as I would have liked to,
and
because I didn't have enough room in my stomach.
Right, I felt the same, and it was a combination of, oh shoot, I'm not trying everything and I want to try it all, and oh no, I haven't shown these booths that I like what they did. It was like I was having this guilt along with this, but I want to try it. It was anyway, a lot of work went into this. I understand why people say this is the best event of the year. 100% that is true.
Yes, it gets 2 thumbs up from Nick and Chelsea.
That's right, and I would say a third if we count tea.
Okay, so that was the International Food Festival at the school.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's switch to a different subject, one that is kind of getting away from school.
Yes.
So we are considering what we're going to do for spring break. And tell me when spring break is and how long it is.
It's the last 2 weeks of March. Mm-hmm. So we basically come back on April 1st or 2nd, whatever that Monday is. And spring break in the States, if you're at a public school, is a week. Mm-hmm. And usually there's a midwinter break in February. And here we don't have the midwinter break. We have 2 weeks in March, which I prefer because you can do something more when you have 2 weeks.
Right. And so with those 2 weeks, there's really been a commitment to finding a trip to help fill most of that time.
Yeah, and we spent months planning to go to Turkey.
Yeah, that was kind of like it was already like penciled in like the moment we arrived, because that is really towards the top of the list of both you and me of places where, okay, we're in this part of the world. What do we want to see that we wouldn't normally go see? Yeah. And that was, right there.
Yeah. And for multiple reasons, the history, the kind of cultural combo in that country, from everybody I know who's been to Turkey just absolutely adores it. The pictures look amazing. Like, there's so many reasons to see it. And really, it just wasn't feeling right for some reason. But part of that reason, which might seem really silly to some people, is how much we've been told people smoke there in public spaces. Yeah. And like how even inside restaurants where it says no smoking, it's not really enforced always, depends on the restaurant. And both Nick and I don't enjoy being around smoke, but we can handle it to a certain extent as adults. Our child has like a visceral reaction to it, like starts crying, wants to get away, wants to move away as fast as possible. And we were like, maybe not at 5.
We, instilled this in T at a very young age. I mean, neither you nor I are smokers.
No.
And neither you or I enjoy this. And
Can't
so we
stand it, really.
We have talked to him a lot about how, smoking is not something that we do in our family.
Right.
And that it's not good for you health-wise.
Right. And, we also say, but we don't judge other people. We don't comment on other people's decisions because as adults, everybody gets to make those decisions. However, we are not going to do it for all these reasons. And so he knows that. He also just really doesn't like the smell. Yeah. And when you grow up in an area where that really isn't there, like in Seattle, there's lots of other kinds of smoke, but there's very little nicotine, tobacco smoke. Anyway, you just don't, you're not around it. You're not around it in your world of people, really, and we're not around it. Just there's no restaurants that have it. You don't really, you see it now and then outside, but you can mostly avoid it. So he really doesn't like it. He's not used to it. And so there is smoking here, of course. I mean, it's a different culture, but it is enforced in indoor spaces. You absolutely cannot smoke in indoor spaces here, at least in the malls. There are restaurants that have smoking sections, but they're very, very insulated from each other, the non-smoking and the smoking, from what I've seen. And you can go outside and it could be half and half. You can avoid it, or you can go somewhere else if it's there. So it's just a different situation, but T makes it known when we're around it.
He's very vocal
yeah.
about anytime he sees someone who's blowing smoke.
Yeah. So it's this combination of not wanting him to feel awful and not wanting him to offend.
Yeah.
It's like this combo. And I'm glad he feels this way. I don't want him to think, oh, this is fine, it's normal. I don't want him to be okay with smoking, but I also don't want him to offend other people and, judge that, because he doesn't know all the reasons behind it at this point.
Now, I've also had at least one person tell me they didn't think it was as bad as what some people have said.
Yeah.
And they say they're pretty sensitive to that as well.
Yeah.
And so, I don't think it's going to prohibit us from eventually doing this trip.
Yeah, like just maybe when he's a little older and can control himself a little better.
And like you said, it just felt like maybe there was some little vibe that wasn't clicking on this.
That's right.
And so sometimes you just have to kind of,
you got to listen to the little voice in your head, because it's there for a reason.
And so therefore we decided not to go to Turkey for spring break.
Right.
But now we got to figure out, where are we going for spring break? Because I know that it's going to be a financial hardship, but we're pretty committed to actually going somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. And we are here for more than one reason. It's not just because of the job. Mm-hmm. It's also to give us opportunities to travel places that we can't go to easily from back in Seattle, and to experience other cultures while we're living in another culture. This is important. This is a value. And it's a lot cheaper to go to some of these places from here than it is to go from back in Seattle. So like Seattle to Europe is a lot more expensive than here to Europe, for instance. But in this case, we've gone through multiple options. I was really wanting to see Vietnam. I still do. You were a little less excited about that.
One of the things that was an issue with Turkey was, are we going to try to see multiple places?
Right.
And what is that going to look like, and how challenging is it going to be to create that itinerary, and, how complicated it was going to get.
Yeah.
And so, when I hear that, I'm like, well, okay, let's find less complicated.
Yeah.
And maybe a little closer.
Yeah.
And Vietnam definitely isn't a little closer.
Yeah, it's not closer. Well, Turkey was one of the closest places we could have gone.
And India is another spot.
That's even closer.
Closer.
Yeah.
It's one of those places where do it now while you're in Dubai because of the proximity.
Right.
But also, it's a huge country.
Right.
And knowing where the right places to go are is, that would really take some thinking to figure it out. And the one place that you had really kind of looked at and been told about as the first place to go in India was Goa.
Goa.
And that's great, but it's basically a beach resort community for travelers.
Yeah, it's a beachy. There's Airbnb. I think what we do is an Airbnb there, but we decided that wasn't the place to go this time. It would be maybe a little hot right now. Probably okay, but we decided we'd rather go maybe next October when we have a midterm break. And we don't need a lot of time at a beachy area. We don't need 2 weeks.
You don't need 2 weeks to, I guess there are some people who do need 2 weeks at the resort, but that's not us.
Yeah. Yeah. And my coworker has a friend who has a house there that she rents out. So I think we'd look at that too. But so we are making that a plan, but for a future trip. So for this time, so then we were kind of like, okay, Vietnam, because I found this one, travel agency had put together an itinerary for children. And I was like, this one. And I already decided, okay, if we go to the Hanoi area, it is not as hot as this other area. So we won't do this whole itinerary. We'll do like half of this itinerary. We'll stay in that region. And then we're kind of all set. They've already done it for us. We just have to, I mean, I wasn't going to buy it through them, but I just have to like book the things they said to book. Perfect. But then there's some like, what's the word? Some coals in the fire?
There's some
what's the
irons
phrase? Irons
in the fire. For me, as far as potentially having job opportunities.
Right. And so we're not sure if Nick will be needing to stay here or come with.
You're right. Because if I'm doing something, and you know, and this will be a subject for a future episode, but you know, there's one or two that are school related and one that is not.
Right.
So there's a chance that I could end up with a position that would be on the same schedule.
Right.
And there's a chance that I would not be.
Right.
And so we got to kind of factor in the possibility that I would not be on this trip.
Right. So we went from no Turkey, and actually let's not do Europe, because we'll do Europe again. If we ever do move back to Seattle, we'll do Europe. Like, this is something we'll always want to do. While we're here, let's do Southeast Asia. Okay, cool. Thailand may be a little too hot for us right now. It's going to be hot when we get back anyway. So Vietnam, we can do a cooler area. Okay, wait, Nick might have a job. Do I want to go to Vietnam by myself with T? Wait, no. Okay, ChatGPT, will you help, please?
Oh man, we're going down the rabbit hole.
Oh man,
the AI rabbit hole, which I think both you and I have been very reluctant.
Yeah,
about that. And also, you know, I'm a science fiction guy, so every other science fiction thing is about how the thinking computers are going to destroy humanity.
That's so
funny. That's kind of been embedded in my brain.
Right.
And so my brain is naturally resistant to the idea of AI because of the fact that HAL 3000 is going to be taking over and crashing taking all the astronauts off of their life support.
Lest you think Nick has no interest in AI. He has, in fact, used it.
Yes, I have.
Okay. But anyway, so I did use ChatGPT while Nick was at improv last night, and I put in all these parameters around, you know, family of 3, 5.5-year-old, second bedroom if possible, or at least a separate room to sleep in, economical, and could potentially be one parent only with the child if Nick can't come. Like, I put in all these things.
And I think, didn't you put the weather in too?
Oh, and the weather, yeah. Not too hot, but...
I mean, this is one of the things is that I think that one thing, at least came to my mind, is that this is our last chance before it gets hot here in Dubai.
Exactly.
So I don't know that we necessarily want to go someplace that's going to be hot.
Yeah.
This is kind of like last chance loon at going someplace where you might get a little cooler weather. I mean, today was the first day since we've been back where I felt like, you can feel the heat starting to come back again.
Yep.
So
I actually was like, looked up Norway. And I was like, okay, maybe too cold.
But anyway, so that is a pretty substantial factor too.
Yeah.
We don't want to go someplace where it's just going to be as hot as what's going to be while we're here.
Yeah. So ChatGPT did it well, though. I do appreciate this about it. Obviously, you have to go research further from there, but basically it gave me 3 options. Taiwan was number 1. Japan was number 2. And Portugal was number 3. Obviously, I would love to see all 3 of those places. Taiwan was not on my list. So at first I was like, Taiwan. It took me about 5 seconds to go, great idea. But Portugal has always been on my list. Yeah. And then Japan is on my list. I'm like, kind of want to live there someday. So I kind of put it to the side because I was like, well, maybe we'll live there someday.
Well, you know, and I had a little different initial reaction to Taiwan.
You always have an initial negative reaction to my new ideas, though. That's just like kind of your processing. I mean, yeah.
Taiwan politically is in an interesting spot right now.
Yeah.
With, you know, the claims of China.
Yeah.
And those claims seeming to be getting louder right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Now, I was talking with my dad today
Yeah.
and brought this up, and he was like, "Oh, Taiwan. Yeah, I'd be really interested in going there. You know, they're very well traveled, and so they've been a lot of places, and it is a place they haven't been to." But he also brought up an interesting point. Yeah, maybe you better get there now.
Before it's potentially under control of another country.
So that
I thought of that.
Yeah. So that is another thing to take into account when deciding what we're actually going to do, because we haven't actually made the final decision.
No, I mean, I'm definitely leaning in that direction, and gotta pick it soon, because the second half of March is not that far away. We're now at the beginning of February. Gotta get some tickets.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about this idea, and I do feel like I could do it by myself if Nick's not there. It makes me a little nervous doing that with a different language, but I also know it's a metropolitan city. It's got ChatGPT tells me that it has good public transportation. And it also gave me neighborhoods to stay in and places to look for housing. I'm in. I think this is a good place to start.
Well, and it's definitely, I mean, it's not close. I mean, this would still be a pretty substantial flight and several hours time zone difference.
Yeah.
But, it's not like going from Seattle to Taiwan.
Which we would probably never do. Now, there's lots of Taiwanese people in Seattle. There's lots of East Asian people in Seattle, period. And so, it is a place that a lot of people have heritage from that we know. And that part is kind of exciting to me too. Mm-hmm. I like that idea. And I like the idea of going there while it still is its own country.
Yeah.
That is appealing. Okay. So anyway, that's the spring break. Stay tuned. We'll let you know next week what our decision is. Hopefully we have one.
You could even chime in with your votes.
Oh, maybe we should do another poll, because last week's didn't work in Spotify.
Well, we'll be getting that later in the episode as well.
Okay.
But anyway, so we're thinking about that. Maybe we'll do something with that.
Maybe we will.
But in the meantime, let's move on to our next subject, and let's do another Dubai Hills Mall update.
Yeah. So we've talked about Dubai Hills Mall before, and we're going to talk about it again because it's rad.
Well, and when we talked about it at the first time, that was sort of after the first time we had gone there.
Right.
And now we've been there many times. And
right.
we also have a better sense of where it kind of stands in the hierarchy of malls here in Dubai.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, there are so many. Everything's a mall here. We have not been to most of them.
Right.
We've been to the big ones that people talk about, Mall of the Emirates, Dubai Mall. But we've been to the one out in Silicon Oasis. Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Yeah.
And we've been to some small little ones, notably the Galleria in Al Barsha. But there are so many that we have not been to. So we can't really do a full comparison.
Yeah. But what I guess I would say about Dubai Hills Mall is that it is the mall that locals consider their favorite.
Yes.
It is the mall for locals.
Yes.
When we're talking about, Dubai Mall, when we're talking about Mall of the Emirates, these are tourist destinations.
Yes.
They are jam-packed with people coming to see the crazy stuff they have in these malls.
The ski hill.
Whether it's the ski hill in Mall of the Emirates or
the aquarium, the Chinatown
in Dubai Mall, or the ice rink there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons to see these. I mean, if you're going to the Burj Khalifa, you go through Dubai Mall.
Yeah.
So those are destinations for tourists. Dubai Hills Mall is not a destination for tourists.
No, it's a residential mall. It's in basically a suburb. Dubai Hills is a nice suburb. We've talked about it because we've talked about the park, but just in general, like it's a very, we kind of call it the Bellevue of the Seattle area of Dubai, because it sort of feels like that, and it leads into some really fancy areas near Dubai Hills. And it's lovely.
Yeah.
It's a lovely place to be.
So what are the things that you think really make it the favorite mall for the locals?
Okay, that's a good question. I think part of it is just the hanging art that they have. I think it's pretty.
So Dubai Hills Mall is basically 2 levels, and it's kind of open. Mm-hmm. You can look over the rail from the top level, see the bottom level.
It's very bright,
and they're very
in a nice way.
Very high levels. So these 2 levels probably go 50, 60 feet up in the air to the ceiling, and then that gives you plenty of space to have these like
hanging
these art
sculpture.
installations.
Yeah, art installations.
Hanging
that's the
from
word,
the
yeah.
ceilings. And they're grand. I mean, they are these very large and really pretty things. Like there's one that's a flower, but it's like made of hanging balls. So, and then they have a metal bee, a giant metal bee
that was really cool,
gathering pollen from this.
Yeah.
One thing they have is a giant rabbit.
Yes,
statue.
yellow rabbit. The kids love it.
It's got space underneath the legs that you can kind of crawl through if you're a small child. And T has gone there and just run around.
Yeah.
And found another kid who was there because everyone's coming to that to go take photos with their kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's always families and kids around there. And T, of course, is always looking for another kid to play with.
Yeah.
And he has in some instances been able to find a kid to play with there at the giant rabbit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I enjoy Dubai Hills Mall. It's a place where you can kind of keep him entertained without having to go to the play area.
I mean, they have the play areas, of course, but it is, you can still adventure around without going in. And I think the look of it is just beautiful. So if we talk about malls here a lot, and that is just one where you walk in and you're like, it's pretty here. This is nice. It's a pleasant experience. And then you start walking around, you notice the stores and whatever, but the food options are excellent. Even the food court is like one of the better food courts I've seen anywhere ever. And we went to go to a restaurant, not in the food court, but we walked through the food court on the way there. This was last Sunday. And I was like, oh, but if that doesn't work out, there's this, and this. These all seem good.
Yeah.
So it's just like a nice space to be. Now, we took our parents there on their first night here, full night here, I think. And we ate Indian. It was decent. And then we went and walked through the mall a tiny bit, not a ton because everybody was tired, but we got dessert.
Yep.
So we got dessert at this chocolate place, and it's kind of I think it's on the second floor, the first floor, I guess, because they do ground floor, then first floor. So it's on the first floor, and it was in one of the areas where it's in like an intersection, and there's like 4 restaurants kind of all around this intersection. And the way they do it in malls here is a lot of the malls, they have seating inside a cafe or a restaurant, and then they also have seating in the middle between the walkways, between what I would call sidewalks kind of in the mall. So this is one of them, and there's like multiple dessert places all kind of right around. And I think it's called Ganache. It's a chocolate place. They have a few chocolate places there. And we got profiteroles. You and I split for profiteroles. I love profiteroles. Hardly ever get them. My mom got like a hot chocolate that was super fancy. So did T. I can't remember what your parents got, but everybody left going, wow. And I was like, yeah, wow, indeed. Okay, Dubai Hills Mall. So yeah, it's really a nice place to go.
Yeah. Well, one thing I want to kind of follow up on, you use the word pleasant experience.
Yes.
And that's true. And one of the things that makes it pleasant is that it is so wide.
Yes.
I mean,
right.
It is, you feel like you have space.
Yeah.
Even if there's a lot of people there, it does not feel like you're in a big crowd.
Yeah.
You feel like you're not cramped.
Yeah, and I think all ages like it. Like I walked in on I was going to a conversation. I had a meeting with a student and a teacher. This was like a couple months ago. And I was late to the meeting. They were in my office waiting for me. And they were in the middle of this kind of like vibrant conversation. And this teacher is probably in her 30s. The student's obviously a high schooler. And then I'm 51. I walk in, I was like, what are you talking about? And they said, oh, we're talking about what we think are the best malls. And I looked to the student. So what's your favorite? Dubai Hills Mall. And I looked at the teacher. What's your favorite? Dubai Hills Mall. I was like, same. Okay, well. And I think when we were there, I saw groups of kids walking around. I saw it, all ages. It's a great place.
Well, and then one thing we did last week at Dubai Hills Mall.
Oh, yeah.
Is we got a chance to see a movie, Just You and Me.
Yes.
T had a play date at a kid from his class who lives in JVC.
Yeah.
And we dropped T off, and it was going to be like 4 hours, so that gave us enough time. And Dubai Hills Mall is not that far away from JVC.
I mean, you have to get through JVC,
Right,
so everything
yeah.
is far because
it's
of
not
that.
far. It takes a long time to get there.
Yeah.
But it's not far.
Yeah.
And so, as you know, we love a movie experience.
Yes.
And you had one movie in particular that you were really fired up to see.
Yeah, and we were late because of the traffic, etc. But listen, we went to Hamnet, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. We missed, I don't know how much of it we missed. Not that much, but we definitely missed. We were more than 15 minutes late. Maybe we were 20 minutes late. So we missed the beginning, and it was still beautiful. I was crying my eyes out at the end and a little bit earlier on. You even cried. I mean, this is rare.
Well, let's talk about what this movie is about. So this
Yeah.
is set back. Basically, Shakespeare is the main character. Well, not the main character, but he is it is about Shakespeare and his wife.
Yeah.
And so it's set there in
And their
16th
children.
century England.
Yes.
And it's telling the story of basically a family story. Now, I don't know that there's any truth to this. I don't know, but it's based on a book.
Yeah, we didn't look it up. It's based on a book, and if there's truth to it, we don't know. We should look that up, but it was... we don't want to tell the story without if people haven't read the story or seen the movie. We don't want to give it away, but it is it's tragic and hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
It's about keeping your heart open and loving yourself enough to love the right person. Like, it really is beautiful.
Well, and let me just say that we're parents of a young child, and as parents of a young child, this hit hard.
Yeah.
I mean, this one was you're feeling it inside your heart
So much.
because of the parental emotions that are pulled out of you.
Yeah.
When watching this story play out.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know how to explain it except to say, like, if you can't handle emotional movies, don't see this movie. But if you want to dig into those wells of emotion, or you need a good cry. If you need a good cry, this is how I used to handle. I could tell I needed a good cry. I'd be like, I'll just go watch Little Women. Well, this would become my new go-to. This could replace that. It's just, you can't not have that come out of you, but in a really beautiful, humane way, because the acting is fantastic. The story is told so well. It's raw.
And then you had, was it a student who saw it, or
no?
It
This
was
is
your
this
coworker.
is Adventures with Mark and Katie. Oh no, you're right.
Yeah.
That's an Instagram.
Your coworker and
my
her
coworker
daughter.
saw it with her daughter, and she said that her daughter, she'd never seen her daughter cry that much at the end of a movie, and she was like, "You are a foreign film person."
Well, and then they mentioned how it's kind of a quiet movie.
Yes, and I love a quiet movie,
and that really is something that is kind of a key characteristic to it.
Yes.
When you go into this movie, if you decide to go see it, understand that's what you're seeing. You're seeing more
a slow, quiet movie.
Almost kind of foreign film style.
It's an indie style. Yeah. These are my favorite kinds of movies, to be honest. I used to see them as a kid because I grew up with family who love film, and we just don't go to movies very often, and when we do, it's so rare that we see that kind anymore because there's so few movies we get to see, and I was so grateful to have that moment.
I mean, and how often are we going to a movie with T now?
We're seeing Zootropolis or Zootopia. Anyway, we're seeing kids movies when we go out because we have him. But it was nice. Thank you for the parents who allowed us to have a play date.
Yeah.
And allowed us to go to a movie.
Yeah.
Because we would not have been able to do this otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we have to hire a babysitter every time we want to go anywhere. And so, it costs, and we just don't do too much of that. Yeah. But I say that, we didn't mention it here, but I'm going to mention we are going to Wicked on stage tomorrow night at the Opera House.
Yeah, that'll be our second
musical
there at the Opera House. And yeah, we're gonna see how the second time around goes.
Yeah, I think it's a touring London production.
Hopefully, we will be able to leave early enough to where we don't feel panicked,
rushed, and yeah, exactly.
About getting there on time.
One of our favorite aunties here in our building is going to babysit T. She's amazing, so very excited. He'll love it. We'll love it. It's exciting. Okay, but anyway, all that said, if you can handle a slow story, a slow moving movie with amazing emotions, with beautiful emotions. Go see Hamnet. It was so good. It was so good. Also, they reposted my photo where I praised the movie on their official Instagram, and I got excited. And I also had a little conversation with this woman from Adventures with Mark and Katie, who also moved to Dubai this year, and she's also an educator. And she has not seen the movie, but she read the book and also had all the same emotions. So apparently the book is also slow and fantastic.
Okay. So with that wrapped up of Dubai Hills Mall, I guess it means that we're time for our regular segments, our Excellents and Boguses.
He just
of the
loves
week.
saying that. Okay, so what is your excellent?
All right, so there's a little story behind this one. Let me just start by saying what this involves. This involves Indian tractor stunts.
Indian tractor stunts.
Yes. So I was off for a walk one morning, and I was wearing a T-shirt of mine that is from Seattle. So in Seattle, there is a music venue called the Tractor Tavern.
Yeah, it's infamous.
And well, it's a small little venue in the neighborhood of Ballard, and it's actually this location where you and I saw our first live show together.
It's infamous in Seattle.
Well, famous in Seattle.
Okay. Wait, what's the difference?
Infamous kind of has a little negative connotation to it.
Oh, I never really thought about that. Okay, it's famous in Seattle.
Yes, and so right before we came here, you gave me this T-shirt.
Yes.
From the Tractor Tavern.
Yes.
It's very simple. It's just a print of a tractor.
Yeah.
And it says the tractor underneath. So it doesn't really say anything about it being a venue or anything like that.
Right.
The main thing you see is the tractor.
Yeah.
So I'm walking back into the lobby of our building after going for my walk, and we have a regular security person who's usually sitting there at the desk.
Yeah.
And he sees my shirt and goes, "Tractor? Do you have a tractor?" And I'm like, well, no, actually, this is from a music venue in my hometown of Seattle. But that began a conversation where he told me about how in India, they have these people who do these crazy stunts on tractors.
That's so cool.
And so, and he was saying, these are things where people die doing them and stuff like that.
What? That's not cool.
And so
I take it back.
I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll go to YouTube and check out something not where someone is dying, just an idea of what these Indian tractor stunts are all about. And so I came back up to our apartment and pulled out my phone and went and looked it up. And these guys are nuts. Oh, my goodness. They're crazy. There are guys driving tractors. These are tractors, normal tractors.
Yeah.
They don't have any kind of cab at all. You are just out in the open as the driver.
Oh my gosh.
And they get them, they do like this big wheelie to get them on, so they're just driving on their back wheels.
Oh my gosh.
And they're doing all kinds of spins and stuff just on their back wheels. They're 90-degree angle. I mean, they are full on vertical.
Wow.
When they're doing these things. And it is just nutso. I mean, I can't believe anybody's doing this. And yeah, you are so exposed as the driver. You are, you are in danger. If you crash, you're going to be injured in some way, shape, or form.
This is so much more impressive than monster truck shows.
So, I'm very happy to know of this phenomenon. I hope they find a way to make it a little safer for the people.
Right.
But having seen it, I feel like my life has been, just given a little bit extra light in it from having had a chance to know that this exists and seen a little bit of it.
That's pretty cool.
So that's my excellent.
I love it.
How about you?
Okay, well, mine is not as exciting, but I've now had 2 pistachio lattes. They're fantastic. So I had one at home bakery, and 2 days later, I had one at the coffee club in the Springs souk. And I did not expect them to be so good. Like, coffee here is good. I've talked about this. I love the coffee here in many, many places. And Home Bakery has excellent coffee. It also has very expensive coffee. And the pistachio is even more than the flat white I normally get with caramel. But I just decided I was going to try it. And
let's explain that pistachio is a big thing here. I mean, specifically, this is like the main added ingredient in Dubai chocolate.
Oh, Oh, right. I was like, what are you talking about?
So,
Yes.
you know, this is something that makes sense here in Dubai.
Yeah.
And why it might not necessarily be something that you're going to find back in the States.
Yeah. I don't know if they have this in the States. I've never looked for it. But here's what made it different. Because, you know, I'll get an almond latte in the States if the place has almond. It's like a syrup, an almond flavored syrup. And I like that flavor. This is made with like chopped up nuts in this paste. And it's a green paste, as pistachios are green. And it was very, very fresh. So I'm drinking it with this nutty flavor and I'm chewing little nuts. And I was like, but like in a good way, you know, not in a, oh, that's annoying way. Like I don't like the tapiocas in
bubble tea.
Bubble tea. I don't like bubble tea because those are weird. It's weird to me to chew my drink. But then here I am chewing my drink. So I was really into it. And then the coffee club one is a better for your budget. Just as tasty though. And same like pistachio paste. I was like, who came up with this? It is so good. So again, I had this little conversation with Adventures of Mark and Katie about my pistachio latte. So I might be late to the game. She's like, that's my favorite kind. Oh, okay. It is really good. Okay. So anyway, if you come to Dubai, get a pistachio latte, but also a flat white with caramel is quite good too. And I say less sweet on all of these. I don't like to overkill with flavor, but it's yummy flavor.
And if anyone listening has seen this back in the States, let us know.
Yeah.
Because I'd be curious to know if this is something that is unique to Dubai or not.
Yeah. I was like I'm getting more of this. I'm trading out my normal, unless I'm at school, I'll still get the flat with caramel because I'm pretty sure we don't have the pistachio. But other places, when you've got the good coffee, get that drink. Oh, so good. All right. Moving on. What is your bogus?
All right. So we referred to this a little earlier in the podcast, but my bogus is our Spotify poll. So last week we teased doing a poll about whether you thought for the movie franchise if Zootopia or Zootropolis is the better term. And so our plan was to post a poll on Spotify and also one on Instagram and get some feedback and see what people thought.
Yeah.
I created this poll for Spotify in our little dashboard and everything, and published it. Everything seemed to be out right. I don't see that it's ever actually shown up.
Sad.
And I don't know what I did wrong. I mean, it's very possible that there's some little thing that I missed or forgot to do, or there's some little quirk about whatever browser I'm using, or
I mean, we're using
something.
free Spotify. Is there some kind of limitation maybe?
So, but whatever the reason, it never showed up
Aww.
on Spotify. Now, we did manage to get it posted on Instagram, at least in Instagram stories.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the only place you can do a poll is in stories. Is that right?
Yeah.
And so we did get at least a little bit of feedback that way. So how did it turn out?
Now I think it was even.
We are checking this as we speak.
I'm like, do I still have that in here? How do I find that out?
I mean, this was a very important thing because, this is going to determine the future of the Zootopia franchise, or should I say the Zootropolis franchise. We would both kind of seen what made sense in each way. I mean, Zootopia, are you trying to create an animal utopia here with this movie franchise? Or Zootropolis, is it all about the fact that this is one big city where all the animals live? There's a good argument to be made that either of those phrases could be more appropriate for the movies.
Yeah, and now I really can't find that, so I don't even know if it's still there. But anyway, it was not. When I first checked it, there were not that many responses, but they was evenly divided. So, maybe we'll put it up again, see what happens. And what was the other poll you're going to maybe do?
We were going to do about where we should go
on spring break.
Yeah,
okay,
so
stay tuned because these are some very exciting polls coming to you.
All right, so that was my bogus. How about yours?
My bogus is our child's language. So he has developed some not nice name calling habits. Especially directed at us, but obviously he's doing it other places too, and he's gotten it from other people. Like he definitely has picked this up from other kids at school, and there's some people with some unfortunate habits, and he's now developing them. So
Well, I mean, I assume this is typical for kids anywhere. You learn things at school, and specifically what happens is you have classmates who have older siblings who are an influence on them, and they pick up some things at an earlier age than typical. I never thought that I was going to have to start concerning myself with swear words with a 5-year-old.
The F-bomb has already been asked about. Thankfully, I think you tapped that down pretty quick. He had no idea what it meant. He'd never heard it before. And he got influenced by kids at preschool too, but it wasn't the same. This is just a different level. And again, there's more kids with older high school age siblings in this area than there are. There's not the same amount of age difference between siblings.
Yeah, well, at least
in Seattle.
At least with the kids that T was interacting with.
Yeah, exactly. So this was a whole different thing. So yeah, that came up this week, and we were concerned. I think it's already been addressed at school, not the specific what happened, but just how we talk to people has already been addressed because I brought it up to the teacher. But yeah, I'm not liking this. I'm not liking it. We are going to keep working on with him on it, and on kindness and how name calling makes people feel, because it also will come out when he plays sports, and his naturally competitive nature will sometimes contribute to not being kind. And so, but he's very sensitive also. So we have to help him understand that you need to be also sensitive to others.
Right. I mean, he's the kind of kid who will maybe do that, but if someone were to do it to him, it would make him feel bad.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's our goal, is to help him understand that the way that you feel, that is what you are kind of doing for other kids, and trying to make that click. That's just been a challenge so far. And
it used to be that he never started it. It always started with someone else. And now he's starting it. So we're entering a new era, and I don't like it. But hopefully we'll make some inroads. And there's some good people in his corner trying to help him with it too. Okay, so on that note, we still love our child very much.
Yeah.
And he still is a sweetheart in many, many ways. He just has this little thing going on.
And he had actually a really good week last week in terms of getting some really good feedback from school.
Yeah.
And having some positive things. So anyway, thanks again for watching, or
listening.
For listening. Yes, let me get that right. And as always, you can follow along with our Instagram page. Give us any feedback you have through that particular place, and be excellent to each other.
Have a great week, everyone.